Well, good evening to you from Cape Coast in Ghana, where we're bringing live coverage to you tonight of this 2022 World Cup qualifier between the hosts, Ghana, and the visitors this evening are Ethiopia at the new Cape Coast Stadium. Well, there are fans in the ground, not too many of them, but the authorities have given the green light for 2,250 supporters, to be precise, to attend the game this evening. A stadium that holds a good 15,000, so it's by no means full on this first day of action in qualifying Group G for next year's World Cup in Qatar. Already today, a long way from here in Harare, Zimbabwe and South Africa drew 0-0 in a Trans-Limpopo derby, a game of few chances, played behind closed doors, and a result that probably can satisfy both teams in equal measure. Zimbabwe missing a number of players, notably due to restrictions imposed by the British government, stopping their UK-based players travelling to countries that are on Britain's coronavirus red list, and therefore Zimbabwe were handicapped by that. South Africa, as the away team, playing their first game under a new manager in Hugo Broos. Possibly not too disappointed either, but it is a result which I think gives, in particular, the Ghanaians something of an opportunity this evening. At home, they are the big favourites in this section, you have to say. A country, of course, with a tremendously proud record, both in African competition and at the World Cup in the recent past, not least their run to the quarter-finals in South Africa in 2010. They didn't go to the last World Cup, and they're hoping to make it back to the finals next year in Qatar. The road for them begins here against an Ethiopian side who are the outsiders this evening, without a shadow of a doubt, this World Cup qualifying campaign. Remember, the road to Qatar in Africa began 2 years ago in late 2019. The lower-ranked nations on the continent were involved in two-leg first-round ties. Ethiopia were among them, and they played against Lesotho in the first round and came through, scraped through that tie to make it through to this group stage. And here they are now, and an Ethiopian team who therefore in some respects are just glad to be here to give themselves a chance. They've never been to a World Cup before, but they will be hoping to spring a surprise or two along the way. Fans making their way in then to the stadium here in Cape Coast. We are on the coast, as you can imagine, and about halfway from the capital Accra west towards the border with the Ivory Coast here in Ghana. This wonderful country, a country of about 32 million people, a country with a very proud footballing heritage, a country who have enjoyed great success on the international stage in terms of their national team, not least four-time winners of the Cup of Nations, but not since 1982. And they're hoping to put that right. 40 years of hurt when they head to the next AFCON in Cameroon in the new year. These two nations will be involved in that particular competition. The Ethiopians there as well. But for now, here in Ghana tonight, it's all about the road to Qatar, and shortly the teams will be coming out here for this one. It's been another busy day in the qualifying campaign for the World Cup. The first round of fixtures at this stage of qualifying, and the action continuing this evening. I mentioned that game earlier today in this group between Zimbabwe and South Africa, and also this afternoon the Ivory Coast, Ghana's neighbours, another major African footballing powerhouse. They were involved in action against Mozambique. That one ended in a 0-0 draw as well. And just a short while ago, other games finishing a victory for Zambia against Mauritania by 2-1. In Group B, in this qualifying campaign, a 2-0 win for Nigeria against Liberia. The Nigerians, another nation expected to feature strongly. Kelechi Iheanacho of Leicester City in the English Premier League with a couple of goals in that one. And coming up as well this evening, at the same time as this, Cameroon, another major name on the African stage, and the hosts of the next Cup of Nations. They are in action against Malawi. That's a game that they should be expected to win, of course, just like this one tonight for Ghana against Ethiopia. Ethiopians way down the rankings on the world stage here in Africa, and the Ghanaians led by Andre Ayew, one of the most recognisable faces on the African scene, about to come out here. So the team's about to come out, and the small crowd here in the stadium will greet them. Well, welcome along to Cape Coast here in Ghana, the host nation in action tonight against Ethiopia to get their World Cup qualifying campaign underway, led by their captain Andre Ayew. The Ghanaian team determined to make it back to the World Cup finals. They missed out on the last tournament in Russia in 2018, and taking on Ethiopian team this evening, who are very much the rank outsiders in this section. There is a small crowd here at the stadium in Cape Coast of a little more than 2,000 fans who've been allowed in. A slight relaxation of the COVID protocols, and now we will stand for the respective national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Ethiopia.
Starting with the Ethiopian national anthem.
Ethiopia.
Now it's time for the Ghanaian national anthem. Well, rousing rendition of the Ghanaian anthem and enjoyed here by the fans in the ground in Cape Coast tonight for this one. It is Ghana against Ethiopia. Here decked out in the colours of the Ghanaian flag. This is the Ghana starting lineup for tonight's game, and the good news is that pretty much all of their star players are here. Captain Andre Ayew and his brother Jordan, based in England with Crystal Palace, in front of him. Look out for Kamaldeen Sulemana, the number 6, playing on the flank tonight. Jeffrey Schlupp gets a start as well. He is one of the English-based players who will not be able to play in Ghana's second qualifier against South Africa in Johannesburg early next week because of the UK imposed travel ban to South Africa, which is on its red list due to COVID restrictions. We have Moroccan match officials tonight. Redouane Gied is the referee. An Ethiopian team named by their coach Wubetu Abate. This team fresh from qualifying for the next Africa Cup of Nations. The captain is a man to look out for in attack, Getane Kebede. These players ply their trade at home in the Ethiopian game, and look out as well for the number 18 Shimelis Bekele, who will pose a threat coming forward behind the striker. Ready to get going here. So we're underway in Cape Coast, and the opening qualifier for Ghana on the road to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. It starts here for them tonight in Cape Coast against Ethiopia. The outsiders in this section. There is a small crowd of a bit more than 2,000 fans in the ground, and they are hoping for, expecting to see a Ghanaian win tonight. Ethiopians looking to spring a surprise. Ghana, their all-white home kit. Take advantage of the draw earlier today between Zimbabwe and South Africa in this same group. Difficult trip to South Africa to come up next. That's on Monday. This is Andy Yedom on the ball, one of the English-based players who will not be able to go to South Africa. On the ball again. Andre Ayew, who did spend considerable time playing in the English leagues, but is now based in Qatar with Al Sadd. recently made the move to the Gulf, and he'll be hoping to be back there at the end of next year in Qatar for the World Cup. Ghanaians with Charles Akono in charge these days, the former Ghanaian international. Midfield from Wakaso. And are missing Thomas Partey, the driving force in their midfield usually, the Arsenal player. He's currently sidelined. His absence is a potentially major blow. Not the only one who's missing this evening. Mohamed Kudus of Ajax, the Dutch giants, he is unavailable tonight. Tarek Fosu plays for the London club Brentford, just promoted to the English Premier League. He's not involved either. Jeffrey Schlupp on the left-hand side for Ghana this evening, with Kamaldeen Sulemana on the right flank. Number 18 is Daniel Amarte, another of their English Premier League contingent with Leicester City. Yedom on the ball here. He plays in the Championship for Reading. Again, Wakaso the ball here. Pressed, but not able to pick out a pass. This is club football in China these days, but has been around the block in Europe. Baye, centre of that Ethiopian defence, alongside him number 15 Ashchalu Tamene. With Alexander Djiku of Strasbourg in the French top flight, alongside Daniel Amarte in the centre of their defence. Brothers in attack. Jordan playing just behind, just in front of Andre, the captain. Kamaldeen Sulemana and Jeffrey Schlupp providing the width. Centre of midfield, Wakaso, partnered by Mohamed Idrisu Baba. Looks like 4-4-2 formation. Loosely anyway, depending on the positioning of Andre Ayew. Oh, he is right up top. It's Ethiopia on the ball. Chance for them to maybe build some possession. Youssef Ramadan playing at left back tonight for the away side. Yedom managed to force that ball through for Jordan Ayew. He wins the free kick just outside the penalty box. The foul by Youssef Ramadan. Jordan Ayew standing over the free kick. Mariam Shanko is the man in goal for Ethiopia. Big chance early on then for Ghana. The free kick is horribly overhit. Barak Wakaso. Complete waste of the opportunity. By Bekele. Bekele again, he is the man to look out for in a creative role in midfield for the Ethiopians. Kamaldeen Sulemana with a bit of trickery. Andre Ayew cuts it back. Yedom in support here. Yedom manages to keep hold of the ball and stay on his feet too. Was hoping for a corner, but the Moroccan officials, the assistant referee on the near side, has decided that that's a goal kick. Well, spot on. Andy Yedom scuffing his kick somewhat. Pressure on straight away though from the Black Stars. Ayew. Diminutive figure of Shimilis Bekele leading the breakaway for Ethiopia, to try to make something of it. Clearances by Richard Ofori in goal. First involvement for him 9 minutes into this game. Indishaw giving it to Shimilis Bekele. Up by Kebede, the Ethiopian captain, the number 9. Long ball flighted forwards, but one in the air by Yedom. Picked up by Kamaldeen Sulemana. He is one to watch this evening, one to watch in the years ahead in European club football. But this European summer by the French club Rennes for big money. He was playing in Denmark before that. Jordan Ayew will keep this in play on the far side. His brother Andre in the middle. Nice footwork from Jordan Ayew. Andre Ayew nodding it down, looking for Kamaldeen Sulemana to get on the end of it. The pressure is still on here. Andre Ayew is not the tallest, but he is very decent in the air. Just peeling away from his marker, the number 20, Youssef Ramadan. The Ethiopian defence surviving, hoping for goals this evening, unlike in the match earlier today in Harare between Zimbabwe and South Africa in the same group. Nice turn by Kebede. Here come the away side. Michael, number 11, looking for a teammate on the far side. Free kick given Ghana's way. Charles O'Connor's Ghana team having the better of the early exchanges here and looking to get off to a strong start in this section. A very difficult game to come in South Africa. Few days' time. It is a very testing World Cup qualifying campaign. It is, of course, condensed because of the long shutdown last year due to the pandemic. That's why we've had 2 years in between the preliminary round ties in which Ethiopia were involved at the beginning of this second round in African qualifying. The group stage itself, remember, the winners of each group will go through to 5 two-legged ties. The winners of those will take the continent's places at the World Cup itself, as Andre Ayew is sent to the ground. Maybe another opportunity here to get a cross in from a promising position. That was the foul on Andre Ayew. Will be Jordan Ayew to take it. There's the header from Andre Ayew. There's a look round to the referee. Did he think there was a handball? Andre Ayew wearing the captain's armband, 31 years old now, the former Marseille player. Son of the great Abedi Pelé, of course, Andre and Jordan. Jordan Ayew these days with Crystal Palace. That's why Andre Ayew had a just brief look round to the referee. By Jiku. Rahman. Jordan Ayew. Need to hold the ball up to come deep and look for some support and then drive towards goal. And Shimelis Bekele back helping out for Ethiopia, who manages to snuff out the danger. Number 6 is Kamaldeen Suleimana. A thrilling start to life with Rennes in France, scoring on his Ligue 1 debut at the beginning of the season against Lens with a lovely goal cutting in from the left-hand side. Playing on the right this evening. Nicely done by the away side. Bekele, diminutive figure in that creative midfield role. Tafese Solomon, back to Bekele again. Anchoring the midfield is Endishaw. Once again. And lots of directing the traffic from Shimelis Bekele, conductor of the Ethiopian orchestra. Played a difficult ball to Kibede there. He was caught in possession, Ethiopian captain, and now Ghana can come forward down the left-hand side with Baba Rahman. Cut back towards Andre Ayew in the penalty box. Picked up again by Bekele. Ethiopia just trying to frustrate Ghana. and pose a threat on the counter-attack as well. Put in by Alexander Djiku. Taking on a ball, Yedom. Alexander Djiku, who was born and brought up in France. He does have a Ghanaian father. That's how he was eligible to represent the Black Stars. Relatively recent addition to the national team setup. Kelly. Given away in midfield, picked up by Sulemana. Ethiopia really can't afford to give possession to Sulemana so cheaply. Cross in from the left is cleared away by Baye. Pressure is still on here. Look out for Sulemana. It's going to come to Jordan Ayew. And Ethiopia survive. Still the pressure is on. Wakaso. And Yedom. Andre Ayew. It's it back to Yedom, who continued his run into the box. Again, the Ethiopian defence survive. Ghana are knocking on the door here. Ramadan driving out from the back, a terrific challenge by Wakaso. Sulemana. Wakaso. Idrissou Baba playing the ball forwards. It will run behind for a goal kick here. The pattern of the game well established. Ghana dominating possession. To Abate, the Ethiopian coach, must be aware of the task facing his team in this campaign, and he was appointed as coach of Ethiopia late last year. Of course, Ethiopia qualifying for the next Cup of Nations, which is a big achievement for them. They've only been to one Cup of Nations in the last 4 decades. That was in 2013 in South Africa when they failed to win a game. Will be there early in the new year in Cameroon, and they'll be playing the host nation, amongst others Burkina Faso and Cape Verde, the other teams in the group. Michele with a slack bit of control, giving possession back to Ghana with Sulemana. Kept in play on the far side by Jeffrey Schlupp. Idrissou Baba. Yedom. Ghana 0, Ethiopia 0 this Friday evening. Rahman up against Tonjo, the Ethiopian right back. Ethiopian defence surviving. To Andre Ayew on the turn, trying the shot from the angle. Good block from Tamene. Schlupp playing on the left flank. He has hurt himself. The signal is already that he might need to be changed here. It's a potential hamstring problem for Jeffrey Schlupp. That is bad news for the Ghanaian team. Completely innocuous, nothing in it. Just felt something go. Late addition to the Ghana squad for this qualifying double header. And the signal is that he's going to have to come off. Wasn't in the original squad announced by C.K. O'Connor, the coach. Been able to play in the game in South Africa anyway because of the UK COVID rules travelling to the country. And Jeffrey Schlupp's evening is at an end. A long way to travel for 23 minutes of action. They're going to take that up, and in the meantime Charles O'Connor will have to prepare the substitution. Ghana temporarily down to 10. Amarte. This game's not really come to life yet. Jiku. Abaraman sending it forwards. Finding Andre Ayew. Jordan Ayew. Interception by Endeshaw, but Ghana have got it back again. Well, it was Baba Rahman who'd come forward from left back. He knows that he should have done better there. Endeshaw in trying to make the interception. A horrible mix-up between the two Ethiopian players. Baba Rahman pouncing, but unable to pick out a teammate, and the chance is gone for the Ghanaians. Been a little bit tentative in and around the penalty box thus far, despite having lots of territory, lots of possession, certainly. This is a game that, on paper, they should be expected to win. There is a huge difference between the two nations in terms of their status in the world rankings. Ethiopia ranked 137th in the world, 40th in Africa, despite being a huge nation of 118 million people. Contrast that with Ghana, who are the 7th ranked team in Africa, 52nd in the world. Fessi Solomon. Pass for Shimelis Bekele. Nice bit of control from him. Finding Ramadan on the left-hand side, but Ghana have got it back again. Driving run forward by Sulemana. And the no-nonsense approach from Baye. Ghana can now make the change. Jeffrey Schlupp has gone off. Daniel Kieré is the player who comes on. German-based attacking midfielder. May just play in a central position at the moment. That's where he is, and Jordan Ayew is on the left-hand side. Well, great disappointment for Jeffrey Schlupp. Not his evening. Making the change and forced into a little bit of reorganisation, very much like a 4-2-3-1 now, with Andre Ayew through the middle of the attack as Shimelis Bekele once again gets in possession for Ethiopia. Undershaw across to the far side for Tonjo. Tackled by Wakaso. Up by Idrissou Baba it was. Now with Sulemana again. Well, there are a few mysteries in the globalised world of football these days, with so many players playing their club football in Europe in particular. Here in Africa, of course, a lot of the top players are attracted to the South African League, for example. The Ethiopian squad almost entirely based at home. And it's not a championship with a great amount of visibility beyond the borders of Ethiopia. Therefore, that makes this team a little bit of a mystery to their opponents. One of the leading sides on the continent, of course. Ethiopian champions, Fazil Kenema, romped to the title last season by 15 points. Come. Gabriel Michael getting the support. Run forward here by Tonjo from left back. Trying the high, awkward ball for the goalkeeper, Richard Ofori. Called into action for the very first time this evening. It's taken 31 minutes for him to get his hands on the ball. Idrissou Baba. Baba Rahman on the left-hand side. Jordan Ayew drifting into the penalty box from his new position on the left. Away by the goalkeeper, Shanko. Yedom Ethiopia are succeeding in frustrating Ghana for the moment. Again. Ball cut out by Tonjo. Number 10 is Nazir. Well, so far so good for the Ethiopian visitors, the Warriors. And here comes Jordan Ayew. Rapidly closed down Kebede, getting back to cover the Ethiopian captain, hacking down the opposite number 9. Once again gives Ghana the opportunity from the free kick here, which Ayew will take. 3 men in the Ethiopian wall. Tafesi Solomon certainly the smaller of the 3. And number 5, Jordan Ayew's ball in, and Shanko just getting his fists onto it. Sulemana. Yadom will send a throw in into the box. Long-range shot from Wakaso, and it's gone in. An absolutely horrible moment for the Ethiopian goalkeeper. A goal from nowhere. Wakaso celebrates. It is his goal, but goodness me, a dreadful mistake by Shanko. And the 2,000 Ghana fans in the ground here at Cape Coast this evening, celebrating their team in front. But it should not have been any trouble whatsoever for the goalkeeper. It just dipped at the last moment. Wakaso's long-range effort. And the goalkeeper letting it through his hands and through his legs as well. Terrible for Tekle Mariam Shanko. It's Wakaso's goal, and it's Ghana 1, Ethiopia 0. Well, that is one that will be shared around in the days and weeks to come. May well go viral. And that is deeply unfortunate for the man in the Ethiopian goal. Hope that it opens the floodgates for them. Can they respond? They've got themselves a free kick here. Abubakar Nasir on the ground. to have the noise and the colour and the dancing. All the supporters in the stands here tonight in Cape Coast, even if it's a limited number, have been allowed in. Majority of games here in Africa this weekend and into next week being played in empty stadiums. For Ethiopia to respond, an awkward one as well. Getane Kebede with the free kick, but Richard Ofore showing how it should be done, even if he only got hold of it at the second attempt. The man in the Ghana goal tonight. There's an attempt on target at least for Ethiopia from their captain Getane Kebede. Raman. Under pressure from Andre Ayew. Back to Tekle Mariam Shanko. Tamene, right-sided centre-back. Professor Solomon. Charles Bekele. Two by the Wakaso tackle, the man who got the goal. Suleiman has moved across to the left here for Ghana. Kere, the substitute, losing out. That's here for Ethiopia. Again, very neat footballer, Shimelis Bekele, but needs to be seen if he can really hurt a team like Ghana. Deshaw. To half-time, leading thanks to that Wakaso goal. And, a moment that Tekle Mariam Shanko, the Ethiopia keeper, will not want to see again. Bekele, Kimber Michael trying to slip it through, away by Jiku for Ghana. It's nicely done. Andre Ayew. Jordan Ayew. Towards the corner. Started the game through the middle. Stint out left, now on the right-hand side, going on into the box. He goes to ground. Looking around, hopefully wanting a penalty. There are cries from the stands as well. The Moroccan referee not interested. And the Ethiopia coach not very impressed. It was a great run from Jordan Ayew. It looked like he might continue all the way. He just lost his footing. It's not brilliant playing surface here, it is a bit bobbly. Cape Coast this evening. Yedom. Surely a foul under Yedom. Well, he thought so. Given us an Ethiopian throw. Charles Akono wanting more from his team. lucky to get the goal. That is very clear. Dominated the possession, but created much in terms of clear chances. Ball collected by Ofori. Ofori plays his club football in South Africa for Orlando Pirates. Ghana heading to South Africa in a couple of days. Wakaso to Jiku. Hiedon. It's one of 3 qualifying matches in the African zone being played tonight. Tunisia taking on Equatorial Guinea, the other one Cameroon, already leading by 2-0 against Malawi. So Abu Bakar put them in front early on, and they have gone on to score again in that one. Actually, they should be expected to win. That's set to be a really interesting group as well, of course, with Cameroon and the Ivory Coast in it, as the yellow card is shown to the Ethiopian player, Shimelis Bekele, 31-year-old. Spells Libya and in Egypt as well, and a pretty cynical foul from him on Jordan Ayew. Ethiopia trailing, and they do not want to concede a second goal before half-time. Daniel Kere to Jordan Ayew. A lovely touch for Hiedon. Hiedon unable to dig out the cross. Build-up play, but the final product not there. And you do feel that Ghana need to get Kamaldeen Sulemana on the ball a bit more. We're into added time at the end of the first half. There shouldn't be too much of it. 1 minute. Brought away by Amarte. Ramadan, left back, giving it to Bekele. Tonjo. Since Ethiopia are going to find it very difficult to hurt Ghana. All the possession that they have enjoyed, they've created next to nothing, and Ghana have the lead thanks to something of a gift, a horror show for Tekle Mariam Shanko, the Ethiopian goalkeeper, allowing Barak Wakaso's harmless long-range effort to go through his hands and through his legs and into the net. And at half-time here in Cape Coast, it is Ghana 1, Ethiopia 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, the match between Ghana and Ethiopia, the second half is about to begin.
Well, welcome back to Cape Coast. We are just about ready to get underway in the second half here between Ghana and Ethiopia. Let's see if the away team can produce a rousing fight back in the second half, trailing to that horrible goal conceded 35 minutes in, the shot from Mubarak Wakasa, which really shouldn't have been any trouble for the goalkeeper, but he let it through his legs, and Ethiopia behind. Well, it was a horrible moment for Tekle Mariamshenko in goal, and Ethiopia waiting for the goalkeeper. There's going to be a change between the posts then. Mariamshenko making way. And Fazil Gebre-Michael is the man coming on. New goalkeeper, and Ethiopia hoping for a fresh start in the second half as we are underway again here. Ghana in front by a goal to nil. And, Ghana looking for a second goal early in this second half to really put this game to bed. On as well. Ethiopia clearly realising that they needed to do something to come back into this, but now Ghana come forward again with Jordan Ayew. Down outside the penalty box, the Crystal Palace forwards. On the substitute goalkeeper not to repeat the mistakes of his predecessor in the first half. Ayew standing over the free kick. Jordan is there as well, and he's going to leave it for Jordan Ayew, who tries to curl it in. Fazil Gebre-Michael, the substitute goalkeeper, with a safe pair of hands on that occasion. Wasted though for the home side here in Cape Coast this evening. To stop the counter-attack from Daniel Kere. You see the Jordan Ayew free kick again. Up and over the wall, and it was heading for the corner. Turned behind by the substitute keeper. Back the way to Fazil Gebre-Michael. Joe again. Ethiopia, one of the largest countries in Africa, huge population, the second largest on the continent behind Nigeria in terms of population, 118 million people. And yet, in footballing terms, they've never managed to make a huge impression in the World Cup on the international stage. They did win the Cup of Nations as hosts way back in 1962. The closest they've really come to making it to the World Cup was actually for the 2014 tournament in Brazil, when they got to the final round of playoffs. They lost 4-1 on aggregate to Nigeria, who went instead of them. It would have been an incredible story for Ethiopia to make it to the World Cup. And mentioned earlier, they've been to the Cup of Nations just once in the last 4 decades. Certainly a fading force on the African stage. Will be there at the next Cup of Nations, and they did come into this match tonight with, well, maybe not high hopes of getting a result, but they want to put up a good fight. They played a couple of warm-up friendly games, a draw with Sierra Leone and then a 2-1 win against Uganda just last weekend, to try to set themselves up for these matches, Zimbabwe to come. If they can win that one, they will possibly ignite their hopes of qualification. It could be in here. Oh, goodness me, the substitute Mesut Mohamed had a terrific opportunity to play the pass in and set up surely an equalising goal for his team, but he made a mess of it. There's a Ghanaian player down. Daniel Amarte may need some treatment here. There was the pass runner by Amarte. He seems to have felt his hamstring go. Amarte, the Leicester City player, a second member of the English Premier League contingent who will not be able to play in South Africa because of the travel restrictions, and whose evening looks like it's going to come to a premature end anyway tonight. Time for the magic sponge for Amarte, the 26-year-old. The Ghana fans creating an excellent atmosphere here tonight in Cape Coast. A dangerous tackle, the 2 feet showing. The Ghana players surrounding the referee. They think it should be a red card for Endeshaw. The Moroccan official, I think, has just got the yellow. And that is what it is for the Ethiopian number 12, Endeshaw. But the 2 feet off the ground, that is potentially very dangerous indeed. Was the Ghana player who was caught, and Endeshaw saying that he played the ball, but could have done some real damage. So as well. Whose goal separates the teams. This Friday evening here in Cape Coast as Aye cuts out the long ball forwards. In the evening here in Cape Coast. It's warm tonight, temperatures around 25 degrees here. Jinking his way to the penalty box, trying to get into shooting position. Marte seems to be okay after that hamstring scare. Here comes Kamaldeen Sulemana looking for Kere in the middle. It might come to Jordan Ayew. The Ethiopian defence surviving Tonjo with the clearance. Jordan Ayew looking for the goal. Acceleration from Kamaldeen Sulemana. Babarama still belongs to Chelsea, remarkably. Babarama these days on loan at Reading. 2 Ghanaian fullbacks starting tonight, both playing for the English Championship team. Tonjo belongs to the Ethiopian Coffee side. The leading clubs in Ethiopia. Addis Ababa. Jiku. Long ball forward, might be picked up by Ayew. Andre Ayew still going. Ethiopia in possession in midfield. Manuel Gebre-Michael. The substitute. This is Solomon, the man who went off away for the number 3 at the beginning of the second half. Ethiopia need to get their attacking players into the game. This is Bekele. Bekele doing really well. And just halted on the edge of the penalty box. Wayward shot. Bekele is a nice footballer. Neat passer of the ball. Physically not the most imposing of players. Still going. It was Tamene for Ethiopia. Back again. Suleimana. 21 is Idrissou Baba. Picked up Ethiopian number 11, Gebre-Michael. Kebede. A long-range shot from Kebede. Kebede, I think goal scorer on his day, but maybe tonight is not to be his night. Ethiopia 1-0 are still in this game though, but the shooting needs to improve. Kick for touch in rugby, down into the corner. There's going to be a throw-in to the home team. Rahman to take it. Just want to get the points on the board, really, but completely convincing from them so far tonight. Of course, Thomas Partey to come back, but there's a wonder about their prospects. The game coming up in South Africa. 5 of their starting lineup this evening, after all. Playing club football in England. They're doing well under pressure. Coach frustrated, I think, at Baba Rahman for his delayed response in offering support on the left-hand side. Jiku, Marte. Nice ball towards Jordan Ayew, substitute goalkeeper. Gebre-Michael coming out to clear, needs to get back into position here. Andre Ayew lays it back. Kamaldeen Sulemana, excellent interception. Youssef Ramadan. Scratching for the Ethiopian coach. In defence, not really overly troubled tonight. Alexander Jiku, who is a solid performer in the French top flight, was linked with a move to Rennes before the European transfer window shut at the end of last month. The club that bought Kamaldeen Sulemana for a lot of money in the closed season in Europe. And, with Jiku alongside Daniel Amarte, that's a pretty solid centre-back partnership for the Ghanaian team. It does remain to be seen what kind of side they'll be able to send out in next game in South Africa. In Ethiopia again. Shamalis Bekele. That's cut out by Jiku. Giving it away cheaply. It's been sloppy at times. Tonjo still going, and a great piece of defending from Alexander Jiku. Strong. Very, very comfortable indeed. Alexander Jiku in the heart of that kind of defence tonight. Ramadan. Still going. Tonjo to the floor. There is a physical difference between a lot of the players on the field tonight. The Ghanaians in the central midfield and in the defence, bigger and stronger, and Idrissou Baba showing his strength there. The man who plays in La Liga for Mallorca. The fans gathering on distant vantage points outside the stadium, trying to get some kind of glimpse of the action inside the ground here in Cape Coast tonight. Mayu. Winning the free kick, scored in the friendly win against Uganda the other day, did Abubakar Nasir. Played some nice football at times, nice sharp passing along the ground, but there's no real penetrative edge to their game. Substitute goalkeeper to Baye. Just waiting for the mistake, just trying to coax that mistake out of the Ethiopian team. Throw. Here for Ethiopia, who trail by a goal to nil here. Mubarak Wakaso's strike 35 minutes in is what continues to separate the teams. Played well. They've looked cut above Ethiopia, really, but I sense that they're going to have to improve significantly as this campaign goes on. Horrible night, anyway, for particularly Mariam Shanko. That mistake costing Ethiopia the goal. the substitute, always rising. Carry on for the injured Jeffrey Schlupp in the first half. Upon by Suleimana. Kere could be in here. Kere to square it for Andre Ayew. Unselfish play from Daniel Kere, but perhaps could have gone himself. He really believed. Through the second half, and a game lacking in many clear-cut chances for either team. Ghana always looking the more likely of the two sides. Ethiopia need to get into positions where they can hurt the home team. Yedom to find a suitable replacement for him for the next match. Gideon Mensah, who's on the bench this evening, can come in and play at left back comfortably. Ghana now making a couple of changes. Did Suleimana will make way. He's been told to leave the pitch on the far side. We're going to see how Yeboah come on for him in a straight swap. Another change, Barak Wakaso is coming off too. The man who got the goal. Suleimana, player to watch in the future, not so much tonight, just a couple of flashes of his quality. Barak Wakaso replaced by Emmanuel Lomote. Plays his club football in France in the second tier with Amiens. Shines on then for Ghana. Enforced change in the first half, remember, with Jeffrey Schlupp making way for Kere. So Mohammed for Ethiopia. Yeboah. Jiku. Andre Ayew's career, you feel, never really quite hit the heights that it could have done. He's had an excellent career at international level. Captaining this Ghana side tonight. Some close-run things in the Africa Cup of Nations in recent years. They'll be hoping to go all the way. The next one in Cameroon in a few months' time. That's what they're currently building towards. Next year is going to be a very busy year indeed for African national teams, beginning with the Cup of Nations, ending with the World Cup. He tries to force his way through. The assistant referee was very quick to raise his flag and penalise the Ghana substitute for the challenge. Time for Ethiopia to make another change. Michael is coming off. Yellow player coming on. Change by the Ethiopians. Coming forward again. Shot from long range, smashed towards goal, and a double save by Fasil Gebri-Michael. Still the pressure's on here. Shorten Ayew, Baba Rahman. Of that other change, Ketene Kebede replaced by Shimeka Gugesa. On the ball. To look at that opportunity again. Double save, follow-up from Andre Ayew. The initial effort driven in by the substitute Yao Yeboah to just come on. Eager to make a quick impact from the bench. Sums up Ethiopia's evening, taking off Ketene Kebede, their captain. Just not been able to have an impact on the game up front. Really should be looking to get the second goal to finish this game off. Shorten Ayew going for goal, straight into the arms of the substitute keeper. Concern here for Andre Ayew, given the players who will miss the match in South Africa, the UK-based players, the fact that Thomas Partey is not fit, that others are missing too. They don't want to lose Andre Ayew. Chance for the Ethiopian coach to get some words of encouragement across to Abubakar Nasir, not a player we've seen much of either tonight. Their attacking players have just not been able to influence the game. It's not been brilliant from Ghana by any means, but they've been solid at the back, and they have had that extra bit of strength and brawn in midfield that stopped Ethiopia from breaking through. Just that one opening they had early in the second half when the pass from Mesut Mohammed was a poor one. Could have done so much better. Daniel Amarte was able to make the intervention and Ghana survived. Andre Ayew having the treatment here. 1, Ethiopia 0. Barak Wakaso's goal. The China-based midfielder with the, I was going to say helping hand, well, had it through his hands. Mariam Shanko through his legs as well and into the net. Horrible moment for the Ethiopian goalkeeper, who was replaced at half-time, but here come Ethiopia. Nasir. Well, the tackle was a clean one. The referee was right there. Here comes Jordan Ayew. Andre walking slowly around the side of the pitch. It looks like his evening has come to an end. Here, finally looking to go on a run. Good covering from Yedon. Now Yabo with that chance, formerly on the books at Manchester City, these days playing for Wisła Kraków in Poland. With a production line of talent coming through. Remember, they enjoyed great success earlier this year at the Africa Under-20 Championship in Mauritania, winning that competition with a 2-0 victory against Uganda in the final. Free with a couple of goals in the final. The Hearts of Oak player. Hearts of Oak, one of the great evocative names in Ghanaian football, and reigning Ghanaian champions. CAF Champions League qualifying getting underway. Well, just over a week's time, the 10th and 11th of September, the first legs. 2 rounds of qualifying before the group stage, which doesn't start until February next year. Hearts of Oak will be involved in the qualifying round. They play against Club Industriel de Kamsar from Guinea. They will be hoping to make it through that tie and give Ghana some representation in the later rounds of the Champions League. Yeboah heading towards the byline. Bugesa. Forward by Ramadan. Looking for Abubakar Nasir. Left-hand side at the moment. Concern for one or two of these Ghanaian players, of course. Jeffrey Schlupp off injured in the first half. Andre Ayew coming off now. Rahman. Struggling to carry on, really, Andre Ayew, just jogging around in the centre circle there. Did rejoin the action, but not sure that he is anywhere near his full capabilities. Sense really just trying to run down the clock and get through these matches. The awkward double-header to start things off, another double-header to come next month, and then another in November to wrap up this group stage of the qualifying campaign. That will not be the end of it. The winners of the 10 groups will go through to the final two-legged playoff ties, the 5 ties. The winners of each of them will head through to the finals in Qatar next year. Ghana looking to make it back to the World Cup. They've been at the previous 3 World Cups. Didn't make a big impression in Brazil in 2014, but quarter-finalists, remember, in 2010 in South Africa, and they made the last 16 before that in 2006. The African representatives in Russia in 2018, all struggling, none of them making it beyond the group phase. A really disappointing World Cup for them. Touch. Could Ethiopia snatch a dramatic late equaliser? Be a terrible outcome for Ghana. This is absolutely a must-win game for them. Group with the South African team hoping to pose a threat this time after failing to make an impression in recent World Cup qualifying campaigns. Ghana top their group in qualifying for the Cup of Nations ahead of South Africa and Sudan, as well as the shot comes in. Ofori nearly caught out there. The effort from the substitute Bugesa, and a real scare for the Ghanaian defence that has looked so comfortable this evening. Another Ghanaian player down here gives us a chance to look at this incident again. Laid back very neatly indeed by Nasir for the substitute. Shimiket Bugesa coming close for Ethiopia, the best chance they've had all evening, really. Concern here for Idrisu Baba. Ghana possibly going to lose another player who they will really need to be on top of his game against South Africa, the Mallorca midfielder. Bittersweet victory at this rate, a narrow win, a very soft goal. Ethiopia making another change. Shimelis Bekele's evening has come to an end, and Katuoche Panom comes on. Leading the charge forward. Hasn't got much in the way of support now. It's coming from Yaw Yeboah outside him. Yaw Yeboah, the fresh legs, bundled to the ground. He looks round hopefully to the referee. He gives nothing. Good play from Jordan Ayew. As much as anything, Ghana need to keep the ball away from their end of the field and just make absolutely sure of the 3 points. Great run in support from Yaw Yeboah. I suspect that the Ghana coach will not be entirely delighted with the way the evening has gone when he speaks after the game. CK O'Connor plays to Ethiopia, start of 2020. A lot of water has passed under the bridge since then. Of course, the pandemic has shaken things up everywhere. Ghana have made it to the Cup of Nations in that time. Now Yeboah hurting his wrist, but we're back underway again. Tamene. Baye. Time for the long-range shot over the bar, and maybe Ethiopia's chance was the one that fell to Gugesa a few moments ago. One real opportunity of the game for them. The referee making it clear to Richard Ofori that he's not up for any time wasting. He's not been a busy man tonight, Richard Ofori, but the sign of a good goalkeeper is that he makes the save when he has to. Time for Ghana to make another change here, and Jordan Ayew is making way. Straight swap in front for the last few moments. Joel Fameye comes on. He plays his club football in Russia. Good shift tonight from Jordan Ayew, and given the ban imposed by English clubs on releasing their players to play in red list countries, the British red list in terms of COVID-19 restrictions, that means that Jordan Ayew of Crystal Palace will not be able to play in South Africa. The substitute Fameye. Andre Ayew, who is still on the field. Down into the corner, but only one of the 3 added minutes played. Of course, for some of these African national teams. It's not just Ghana or South Africa, it's other groups too. Of course, Egypt involved. Mohamed Salah not able to play for the Faroes, released by Liverpool. have to adapt somehow, the Ghanaian team. It's not such a big issue for the South Africans. The vast majority of their team play their club football in South Africa. Ayu. Yeboah has made an impact since coming on that right flank. He's got pace, he's got energy. And down towards the corner flag here. In case to start Ghana's next match. End is upon us. Ghana have got the points. It's been a hard-earned victory tonight for them. Not a vintage performance by any means in the end. Thankful to Richard Ofori for that late save from Shimekep Gugesa to ensure that they came away with the victory. A change of goalkeeper at half-time did help Ethiopia stop themselves from conceding more goals in the second half, but that very cheaply conceded goal in the first half is ultimately what has separated the sides tonight. Mubarak Wakaso's long-range effort through the hands and the legs of Tekle Mariam Shanko in the Ethiopia goal in the first half, giving Ghana the points, which on the balance of play, clearly there is a gap in quality between the sides, but Ghana struggling to produce their best form tonight and struggling to create too many clear chances. Just the one goal. It is a winning start. They're on top of the group before they play South Africa in a few days' time, but it looks like one or two fitness issues to contend with, as well as the raft of UK-based players who'll not be able to go to South Africa, so work to do for Ghana, but a winning start to their World Cup qualifying campaign here in Cape Coast tonight. Final score, Ghana 1, Ethiopia 0.